Arya. I am Professor of Pediatrics and in charge Mother NICU at Safdarjung Hospital. And my association with Dr. Chellani is very old. Asar was my guide. I was his first PG in 1996, and after that, I have been working with him in neonatology unit Safdarjung Hospital.
So, as I mentioned, Dr. Harish Chellani, sir is the former head of the department at Safdarjung Hospital, and he actually headed the neonatology division for more than 2 decades. To be precise, I think 25 years, starting from 1997. Currently, sir is the distinguished scientist at Society for Applied Sciences and WHO consultant for the implementation research. At National Neonatology Forum, sir was the treasurer in 2005 and 2006 and remained the secretary NNF and did a lot of work during his tenure in 2007 and 2008. So today we would like to interact and know from sir that how the newborn care evolved during your in the National Neonatology Forum during your tenure. Your perspective on that.
First of all, Dr. Shobna, Dr. Sunda, it's really a pleasure and honor to be with you for this interaction. We have worked as colleagues, as you both of you mentioned, for more than 15-20 years now. And I think in this journey, we have had a lot of gains, a lot of cross learning, and interaction not only for the service provision, I would say, but also as a colleague, as a teacher, and day-to-day care activity. So thanks for being this having this interaction with me. Coming to your specific that how the newborn care has evolved actually over this period, I would say, as we all know, the pediatrics has been the part of the adult medicine, and generally these pediatrics question, in fact, used to be asked in the examination, and very little contribution to newborn chapter was given or a question before 1980s actually, if we see. In fact, I would say the newborn care concept came in 1982 with the support of the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. The first document on the minimum perinatal care, I still remember, which I saw, Blue Book, when I was as a postgraduate student in that time. I saw with the support of the Dr. S.K. Bhargav, and who had been the founder member of the NNF. That was the real journey where we had the newborn care. Later on, after this, somewhere I would say 1994 to 98, the care actually came from the tertiary care medical colleges, because initially this care was mainly, as you know, newborn care was at a medical colleges. But then it came that in 4 districts they said, can we do it at a district level? And real push of the district level care came with the support of the government really from 2005 to 2006, I would say. So we have in fact gone from tertiary medical college care to the first model which we saw as a pilot in district level care. So that has been the initial evolvement of the newborn care. Here I would say initially, then it came the child survival safe program, then it became the part of the RCH program. I know it was very challenging to put child into the reproductive health, because at that time dominance was of the adult medicine and the reproductive health. So it was with great difficulty and support of the NNF, the child component was added in RCH part 1 and part 2.
That was a very crucial time.
That was a crucial time when this really the newborn came. Later on, of course, it became the part of the NRHM, and of course now we know that how it has progressed from there.
So, sir, during your secretaryship, what were the major initiatives taken?
Yeah, I think as I was saying, the district level care, in fact, started 1 year prior to my tenure when uh, Dr. Mathur and Dr. Saluja were the secretary. At that time, they said, why not shift this care to the district level care? And at that time, the initial concept came along with the UNICEF that, okay, let's make the newborn care at a district level. In fact, during my this time, we really took it further. What the initially it was conceived that even the module development, operational guidelines. So and though real actually, of course, the that was the first SNCU came in 2005 and 6, and later on it came to a different district level care with the support of the initially the UNICEF at the state level. Second, I would say, because at that time we were involved in the real conceiving how the district level care is to be delivered, because a lot of apprehensions at that time were there. The another contribution I would say, because the neonatal nurses, the concept was there only in the developed nations. Here the care used to be provided by the general nursing officers, those who were posted either in the labor room or in the postnatal ward. They were taken to the newborn care and they used to be shifted very often. So the real concept of the having the neonatal nurses, we at that time, this during this tenure, made the Indian Association of the Neonatal Nurses. And now, since that time, 2007-8, every year we see a lot of activities of the neonatal nurses. And I can remember for the first time during this time, during this association formation, more than 48 countries they participated, and 250 neonatal nurses came from abroad. And it was the government initiative to call 750 additional nurses. So total of 1,000 nurses they participated. And imagine, we know that generally the the nurses, they confine to the care. They never go and attend these conferences. So for the first time, they were sitting and chatting and having a cross learning what is happening outside, how the neonatal care being provided outside. That cross learning was held, and since then, of course, this has been a major push. This is a second push, I would say. The first was the SNCU, and second was the concept of the neonatal nurses.
As you mentioned, actually, these are the two major, I would say, milestones which have happened: the concept of SNCU at the district and involvement of nurses in the neonatal care.
Yeah.
So I think there must have been many challenges you would have faced to initiate those major milestones.
Yeah, I think yes, I agree with you, because initially some challenges were so obvious which we anticipated, because even from the healthcare provider who were at the medical colleges, they said newborn care shifting to the district level,
That's
not possible. Not possible. It requires a trained manpower. How can a medical officer, at that time, every SNCU in the beginning didn't have the pediatrician, the one which now we see placement of 4 pediatrician at each SNCU, and of course the medical officers. But this concept, even from the healthcare provider, this wasn't there actually. The second thing is we were learning how many beds it should be there. So we at that time had some that 10 to 15% of all births, they require some level 2 or level 3 care. So based on that, and then Dr. Shobna, for how many days these babies stay. So rough calculation was made on the number of deliveries, number of the days, and the approximately how much extramural births they are coming.
Expected.
So somehow that concept was made. Okay, for 2,000 deliveries, 30%, extramural births, we might require 12 bed. Then came the challenges of who will provide these cases, the care. So capacity building. So capacity building of the nursing people and the medical officer who will stay around the clock, because we prefer to be there in the medical colleges and the city. But district level care, who will provide that? And initially it was hand holding, of course, by the UNICEF. But I really congratulate the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, the way it took it as a ownership of this now, and all the states in fact supported the national program of having, rather they took the pride which will develop the first SNCU, right? So, and they used to inaugurate with the all these people who are the stakeholders in this, from the politicians, from the bureaucrats, I mean the health secretaries, or they all came forward and they contributed. And now we know, from there we saw first one SNCU, and now we have more than 1,050. And it was again another challenge. Some of our districts are more than 2 million or 1 million population. Initially it was thought, okay, for 1 million we will have one SNCU, but in our country many. So should we have two? I mean, so that there should be a minimum. And another concept which came at that time, how to provide a regionalized perinatal care. Because otherwise, if we made these newborn units at the SNCU level or a district level, but how from the primary health care or from the CHCs, how these babies, so a roadmap was formed. Linkages, yes. That's how the new thing which was thought of, that let's make the linkages in this case. And we had the 3 levels. So district level will be level 2 newborn care, and newborn stabilization unit at the FRU or CHC level, and it was said newborn care corner at every birthing place. And simultaneously we got a push of the JSY scheme, that promoting institution deliveries. So I think these 2-3 things they made together, and this has been I would say, lot of learning. I won't say it's real challenges, but yes, during this learning from the groups, the obstetricians, pediatricians, they all came together with the government. That's how, I mean, the journey went. Yeah.
So as you mentioned that UNICEF did initial hand holding, government ownership was required. So how did you collaborate with the government and as well as global partner agencies?
Yeah, I think when this concept came, and this was the major initiative of the district level care, and then I would here mention that other countries, they even approached that we would like to have this model of care in our own countries. So all the partner agencies here, I would say WHO, UNICEF, USAID, and our professional organization FOXY and IAP or Indian Association of Neonatal Nursing, they all partnered together. And in fact, here I would like to mention our another achievement. That was the time when we were developing this, the SARC nations. Initially we had only more of a advocacy plans, but then they decided, Ministry of External Affairs and Ministry of Health, why not have this facility based program in the whole SARC nations. So district level care should be the uniform, and here I would mention Professor Dr. Salan and myself. We were taken the consultant by the Ministry of External Affairs and Ministry of Health. So it was 10 districts in each SARC nations. We made the district and sub-district newborn care, right from the civil infrastructure, Dr. Sunda, equipment supply and capacity building. I mean, this was a huge project where India contributed the huge amount, and I remember in one of the meetings in Sri Lanka where the health minister said, I see this package is very good. District level care should have this facility based newborn care package from India. So, of course, each country adapted on its own, but 75 to 80% of that component was that. So, coming to Dr. Subhanda, your point of this organization's role, I now feel there should be a consortium of the Indian Academy of Pediatrics, FOXY, NNF, and Indian Association of Neonatal Nursing, because this platform should work together. They should find out the common, areas. Like we know in the NMR reduction, neonatal mortality reduction, 49% is the contribution from the maternal interventions. So unless we see how the antenatal corticosteroids are being given or the high risk pregnancies are being taken care of along with the neonatal component. So unless we have a convergence or even thinking of these professional organization, I feel initially this attempt was made a few years back, but I feel somewhere this impetus has been lost. We need to revive this process again.
Yes, we agree on
Yeah.
that. That's very important.
So, sir, as you started you started the newborn very in 3 decades before, but as a secretary NNF, you started in 2007, and now 17 years down the line, in 2024, we have come a long way with reduction of NMR coming to 20 per thousand live births. So definitely a lot of work has been done. So how do you see that how the newborn care has evolved over these years, over the span of 2 decades, last 2 decades?
So I would say when I see what we had 2006 and 7 and going to now 2004 and next we are looking at the SDG
SDG.
2030 and where India has made the ambitious of the NMR reduction to single digit. I would say now it has been universalized that district care model works, and medical college should have only the tertiary care concept, or where you feel that these babies, I feel till CPAP or the some of our even SNCUs are providing the ventilatory support care also, but majority of our babies, they do require the level 2 level 1 care. I think that major change has happened with this more than 1,000 this. One here I would say which we need to strengthen is our newborn stabilization unit. Here that I feel looking this whole journey, somewhere the way we had put lot of effort at the district level, even our birthing units have become stronger. But somewhere this gap has been there, which I think we need to be looking. Second point which I have seen is of course, initially it was support of the UNICEF, but Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has taken a total role, and under the NHM now, as I know when I go for supervision and see total transformation. I mean, funds are not the issues. It is the capacity building is there, observership. There is a structured program of 4 days sensitization, operational guidelines have been there, and recently midterm review of the India Newborn Action Plan. So government is open to add the new interventions. So that's another change which I feel has happened. Secondly, the individual care, when it was there, the concept was there that relatives are not to be allowed, mothers are kept outside. They used to be very tense. What is happening inside? We have moved from there to
So I
family
would like
centered.
to add here that you are the evidence generator also of this concept of zero separation. So
Yeah.
would you like to add on?
Okay.
on that?
Yeah, I think this is my passionate thing, and fortunately, at that time in 2016-17, this proposal came to us that we know kangaroo mother care is a strong intervention in the care of the premature and low birth weight babies. But by the time, if we go by the previous guidelines of 2014 of WHO and of the country, that we used to give KMC only once the baby is stable. But most of our deaths of these babies are happening before the baby becomes stable. And I'm lucky here being interviewed when Dr. Sugandha is here. She had been the investigator. And Dr. Shobna, you had seen the journey at that time, how this evidence generated. And now we know that mortality reduction was 25% less with those babies where the kangaroo mother care was initiated early. But to do that, to operationalize that, where you want 20 hours of the KMC to be given and as early as. So I would say the way the Lakshya program is of the government of India, where there is a companion and at the birthing place, here mother oblique surrogate is with the baby inside the NICU. I think this is a
Game changer.
absolutely game changer, I would say, against the current norms globally. And now we are lucky with the leadership of the government and the child health division. Now this model of care has been the part of FBNC, and this has been also now taken up into the operational guidelines. So I would say we have gone long way. New intervention like antenatal corticosteroid, respiratory support including CPAP. So all these interventions have been now included into as a part of care. And lucky to be that both of you who have seen this journey of zero separation, going in this interaction, I think it's a great thing for me.
So, what are your key messages for our young neonatologists and pediatricians?
I would say we should work together. Till now, we have been working in silos, obstetric department or maternal division. I think this is a time we have learned in this zero separation concept that nurses, obstetrician, pediatrician, they should work together. I think that is the biggest gain if we want to reduce the neonatal mortality. And involve the families as a caregiver. Don't take them as a visitor, actually. I think we have made the mistake in the past. And now it is a time to rectify that. That mother should be involved in the care. And in fact, in this Safdarjung hospital, Dr. Shobna, as you realize that when you were there, that 60% of the newborn care is can be done by the mothers. So the nursing colleagues can do more in technical things or monitoring things. And other thing which I would like to say, that now the government guidelines are very strong, and we must use those guidelines. And I would urge our undergraduate, postgraduate or DM students even that we must evolve the knowledge. There is no dearth of the knowledge gain, but how it is happening at the ground level, delivery of care. I think that is very crucial for all of us to see. I would say the tertiary care or tertiary care plus, that newborn care is very small proportion. Large proportion is happening at a district, sub-district level. And even like care in the tertiary care, the baby has to go home. They have to go through the level 2 or
Also.
this. So that part also should be, embedded into their curriculum, the way we have in the, these national
Actually,
programs in pre-service.
Even I feel that every postgraduate should be taught about the facility-based newborn care. Because
Yes.
that is the crucial for more than 95%.
And I would say, even in pre-service, undergraduates should be asked one question on the programs of the newborns,
Yeah.
so that people, otherwise they say, if I'm not asked, then why should I read? So, and lastly, I would say, the NNF body, they should get in, involved in the research also.
Yes.
Unless we have the evidence, like these evidence, I feel NNF should also partner with the ICMR, with the government of India, because it's not only the research in the medical colleges actually, how the programs are being implemented, what are the gaps. Now, Dr. Shobna, I say we know the interventions, but now we have to see how to make them happen at the ground level.
Their
You know,
coverage.
Implementation.
We
So
have
that is the role of the implementation, research, and learning what are the barriers, what are the facilitators at each district. Entirely problems are different. Where there is, the distance is the problem, access to the health facility. I think their challenges are different. So I feel broadly these can be my take home messages.
I think the time is actually very less for us to actually elaborate,
Yes,
because
because
you
such
have
a long
experience of
journey.
30 years
Long
in
journey.
newborn care.
But with our interaction with Dr. Chellani, this is very clear that National Neonatology Forum has professional bodies like NNF. They have a very important role in providing not only technical inputs, making guidelines, but also collaborating with the government for various national initiatives. Also partnering with global agencies to make the implementation happen in the ground. And the one new things are added, that research should also come up as one of the roles for these professional bodies. And as Dr. Chelani mentioned, that this is the need of the hour. We should have a consortium of NNF, IAP, FOXY, Indian Association of Neonatal Nurses, all working together for strengthening newborn care and improving newborn mortality and morbidity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Phoenix. Enabling life.